What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a deck profile on my red Fox Sparks deck that I used in our latest video. This deck literally was built around the love for Fox Sparks. One of the first pals you actually get to catch in the game online. And yeah, I just decided I wanted to build a deck around it. As you will know from the video, didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but again, it's literally built for a bit of fun, and yeah, we'll take you guys through it. So obviously, one of the staples for this deck, being a Fox Sparks deck, is the two cost Fox Sparks, which has the skill Brave. On attack, it gains 300, a 500 that you can drop on your first turn. Not too shabby. Oh, I do have a shiny bird. Not too shabby. Again, this works well with the Fox Sparks harness that I will obviously go through later in the video. We've then got, for our 3 costs, we've got the Spark It, which has on deploy, choose a POW in the stand state and deal 500 damage. Ooh, I'm reading that now. I might have messed that up in the video. I'll have to have a look at that. I've also got Flat Bell, which is on deploy, get 2 wood. Again, the wood, as you see further down the deck, the wood is quite valuable due to running a certain structure. There you go, the mounted machine gun, but we'll get to that when we get down there. And then we also have Kelpsy Ignis. Again, it's a 500 beta. That again you can get out on the second turn. It's got quite a lot of early game for this, but yeah, there's not much to really say about the early costs. They're just there. The only one really that has decent is Flambell or Spark It, but yeah, they're just there for the early game. I've then got 4 Univolts, again for the fact it's a 4 cost and 2 strike. It has Brave as well, so on attack it gains another 300, so being a 900 on attack, that is quite useful for certain broken pieces currently, like the Chillets. They're obviously 900, so being able to swing, proccing his skill to attack the Chillet for 900 for a potential trade, quite useful there. That's pretty much, you know, a cheap 2 strike. Then we run 3 of the Ragnarhawk. I had a decision to make between this or a Suzaku. However, I went with this one just due to the fact of it's a mono red deck. There is no other colour in here. So he chooses all red pals, and they gain 500 plus a crit point, which is quite damaging. I also might have messed that one up as well. I'm really looking back on these cards, I think there was quite a few misplays in that game, but we'll see. I haven't edited that one yet, as of recording this. It will be edited, because obviously it'll be uploaded before this video, but as of recording this video, that one isn't currently edited, so I might have to rethink about that one. Then for our 8 cost, we have Yomotide Ignis. Again, he has a stupid ability. So he can pay 3 soul or discard 2 cards to restand him, only once per turn, but mixing that with things like Axel Strategy, you could potentially stand him 3, maybe 4 times a turn, which is quite crazy. But yeah, so I run 2 of those instead of 3. Because for my interrupts, we have the other 4 Fox Sparks. Again, him being a 4 and an interrupt is really, really nice. Like even if I was to deploy him onto base just to use the Fox Sparks harness, still it's a cheap cost for me to be able to do so. And then we run 3 Bushis, which unfortunately, them being a lucky pal, I have to sacrifice the lucky slot because of his ability, which is really nice. So once he is attacked, I can then return him to hand. So it just means I'm not, like, as much as I've summoned him that turn and used the soul, I then still get him back to use as a defense for next turn. which I think is quite valuable for this. Then we're running 2 of the Axel strategies. Again, he's useful for 2 of the skills, not really as useful for the blocking, like the pals can't block, because most of the time, I think, as you would see in the video, I'm attacking directly a lot of the time. So the 1500 just to blow something off the board, or the restand. I don't think I actually propped it in the video, but the restand would have been nice if I got a chance to. Then we had 3 of the Foxbarks harnesses. I was running it at 4 in the game, however I've changed it just slightly since that, so I'm only running 3 of them now. Again, you rest the card, you choose a power, it gets 200, and then if it's a Foxbarks, it gains the on attack, deal 700 or something. So again, the 400 2-strike one, the interrupt. If I was to give that to it, it makes it a 600, and then I can deal 700 damage to something on the board. Quite useful. It didn't really work out that way for me in the game, unfortunately. But this deck will most likely see a rebuild by the next time you see it. We've got 3 of the single shot rifles. Again, choose a POW, deal 1500 damage, and then get 200 when I rest it. It's just nice just to clear something off the board. There's not a lot in the game that's over the 1500 threshold, so it's quite a killer for a lot of things. And then one of the best gear cards, I think, in this deck. I don't have a shiny one somewhere, I think it's that one. But yeah. The shotgun, again, choose all of your opponent's powers and deal 1200. If I have an opponent that is a full rush deck, then I get this in a draw, they've got a full board, I can just nuke the board quite quickly. And the fact that I get to keep it and it's another add 200 to something is quite useful. Then we move on to our structures. For our 2-cost structures, we have 3 of the Flame Cauldron and 3 Primitive Furnaces. Again, the Flame Cauldron, all powers gain 200, and then when I deploy a red one, I gain wood. A really easy way to make materials or resources, and gives me an extra power boost. Very nice. And then the Primitive Furnace, assign a power, I gain 3 wood, draw a card, same as the Ranch from my other deck. And then I can consume X amount of the wood to then reduce the costs of my gears. So being able to reduce this down to just a 1 cost is immensely powerful. I can lay my Ignis, my Yuletide Ignis, and then either, I've only got 2 soul remaining. I pop this, put that down to 1, nuke a board, and I can deal potentially 4 damage. It's quite scary when that procs. Unfortunately, that was only a game off camera that we played with that where it actually worked. So hopefully we'll get to see Yuletide Ignis back again at some point. But for now, this deck's been retired for a little bit. And then we have our last structure, which is a 4-cost, the Mounted Machine Gun. Consume X amount of the wood and assign a POW to perform. Choose 1 POW, deal 500 via the X amount of wood. So this means if I have, let's say, 3 wood, I can then proc this skill, use the 3 wood, and I can deal 1500 damage to something. Again, quite scary. Yeah, I don't think it really worked that much. I'm trying to remember the game because this was recorded on a different day. But as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure it did not go that way. But yeah, so that's just my little Firefox deck. Nothing special at the moment. It definitely will be rebuilt. But I just wanted to give you guys a deck profile for the deck that I used during that game. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.